Hey, how's everybody doing? This is Chris with Getaway Game Sports. All right, so I know I kind of ripped on the parents a little bit, and I got a message from one of my old ball players, and he's in his mid to late 30s right now. I can't remember how old he is. And he goes, "Hey, dude." We have this type of relationship joking around. And he's all, "Why are you being so nice?" And I'm all, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "You barely said anything about the players and them respecting the game, smiling, having fun, but putting in the work to make themselves better." And I go, "Well, there's a reason why I didn't do that." He goes, "But you did rip on the parents and you were actually really soft about it." No, I don't think I was really soft. I think I've just evolved in time and the way things go. And if parents don't want to learn from it, they're not going to. That's just the way it is. And after I explained that to him, he started laughing and he goes, "Yeah, you're right. I'm the same way." So he calls me an a-hole and I call him an a-hole and we get a good chuckle out of it. All right. So, with this being said, he really wanted me to put out the talk that I had with the players at the beginning of the season. And it's been a few years since I've coached. Like I said, I'm retired, but I made some notes. So, as you guys can see, I've got pages. Oh, wait, wrong way. I've got pages, 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 more pages of notes, okay? Now, first and foremost, players. I want you all to understand that this is for your benefit. Some of it you may want to hear, some of it you may not want to hear. And that's just the way it is, right? Right. Realistically, if you take this and use this to benefit you, I will love every moment of it. Okay? I want to see you all do better because the way that I look at it, I always want me as a recruiter, scout, so on and so forth. I'm replacing every position every year with a better athlete. Okay? So this means that every year, every day, you have to compete with somebody who I hope is better than you. Yeah, I know. My job is to make the program better. And most importantly, make you better as an athlete, more competitive. Sometimes players don't understand that, and instead of taking it as a positive, they take it as a negative. Competition is good. Do we all understand this? Okay. Competition is good. Do we all understand this? I'm going to say it one more time. Competition is good. Regardless if it's on the field, off the field, in the office setting, in your work setting, competition is good. Right? Makes you thrive. It makes you more hungry. If you ever get into a sales position, you'll really see it at the highest peak and sometimes the ugliest peak. But this is going to get you set for all that. I hope. Okay. I'm going to bring my trusty, dusty notes. All right. So if I look down, please understand that. Number one, first and foremost, in my opinion, respect the game. Do we all understand this? Respect the game. Okay? Number two, smile. Have fun. Because it is just a game. Okay? Number three, show your strong work ethic. Have that strong work ethic. And then, if I can just talk. And that means the minute you get out of your car is when it starts. That's what the coaches could see. But the mindset starts the night before at home. Okay, do we all understand that? This also goes side by side with it. Number 3, have a positive attitude. Okay? Number 4, good sportsmanship. I know. That's difficult nowadays, what we're seeing. But there's still a lot of good sportsmanship out there. Do we got that? Okay? And number 5, we're going to circle back around. Respect the game. All right. So, my favorite thing that I had talked about in one of my last videos was how I would get, especially the morning games, get there a couple hours before that. Say we'll use 8 a.m. So I'd get there at 6. And there was a reason why I did that. If I was at a field where there was one drop off, it was simple, easy. It's like, bam, let's go. If there was a couple, it was a little bit more difficult, but I could see them coming to the center where they all congregate and go on, so on and so forth. Now, I want to see when you get out of that car how you're treating your teammates, how you're treating your parents, the parental units. Yeah, remember how I ripped on them earlier? I want to know how you're treating your parental units. Okay? If you're being an a-hole to them, guess what? That's just how you're going to treat everybody. If you're respecting mom and dad at that point in time, all right, respect for you. Because that 8 a.m. game, that 6 o'clock, 6:30, so on and so forth time, not everybody's a morning person. I sure know that I'm not. Okay? And this is why I learned about this, and this is why I say this. Okay? Coaches will, if they haven't determined who they're going to put in the starting lineup, may bench you just because of the way you come in. And with that, understand this. Being on time is not your parents' responsibility. It is your responsibility. Yeah, I know, especially you boys. I know, ha ha ha. You guys figured I'd say the ladies, but no, it's you boys. You know, I said cut the umbilical cord, right? Cut the umbilical cord. Get your mom and dad up. Get them going. Hey, we got to go. We got to be done. You should be waking them up, not them waking you up. And that goes for both men and women, boys and girls. Do we get this? All right, good. Boom. Time to move on. I want to see when you're getting there, how are you treating your teammates, your coaches? I want to see if you are the first one to pick up gear or not, or the first one to walk away from gear. Silly, huh? Yeah, absolutely. But it's the truth. If you're the first one to walk away from gear, guess what? I'm probably the first one not to watch you. Yeah, I don't care if you're God's gift to the game. Yeah, just saying. Just saying. What else do I got here? We talked about that. Now, I know early in the morning, the last thing you want to do is talk to your coach and go over stuff. But sometimes this is the best time, and here's why. You actually have time to talk to the coach because you guys are waiting, you're getting things together. Talk to him. Be coachable. This is a great time to learn some stuff from the coach. Don't be afraid to ask your coach questions at this time either. I mean, really. Some of the best sessions I had were those early morning games with players because sometimes they just would ask questions or I would ask them questions, and go from there. And then we'd be like, oh, we got to get going. We got to get warmed up. Okay?
Please!
Now, all athletes should understand this by the time they're at a showcase. Okay? when to turn on that switch. Well, personally, that switch should have been turned on already by the time you're there. For some people, it's the minute they open that door. For some people, it's the minute they get in the car. For some people, it should have been the night before. Okay? Personally, I think the night before, but that's just me. All right? Do we understand that? I want to go back to one other thing. Respect the game. Because that's where you start respecting the game. So if you're leaving trash on the ground, not throwing stuff out, that's not respecting the game. That's not respecting the field. You know, people put a lot of work in making that field playable for you. So you can respect them by cleaning up your own stuff, make it better than you got there. Okay? And that's not even getting into the dugout yet, folks. Do we all understand this? Okay. Now I kind of want to go backwards. Okay? This is just getting to the field. Now let's talk about what happens before there's an opportunity to even think about going to a showcase. You see your coach says, hey, we're going to Billy Bob's Showcase in northeast western Louisiana. We're supposed to have 96 SEC teams, 87 Big 12 teams. There's going to be Big 10 teams there. There's going to be D2 teams there. There's going to be so on and so forth. Do we all understand this? Okay. You got Tampa, who just won the D2 national championship. I think they went back to back in baseball. You've got William Jessup, who's going to be brand new to D2 softball. They just won. There's a transition period when you go from NAIA to D2. Well, they just won the national championship for that transition. So you want these coaches. You want Bree Campbell, who's the head coach of William Jessup softball, to be there. Ryan Stevens, actually, of William Jessup softball, same scenario. They won the national championship. So this is a program that is ridiculously phenomenal in D2, folks. Okay? All right. So, sorry. Had to get that out there as well. So, players. When your coach sits there and it's the week before the showcase and he says, pick your colleges that you guys want to see, pick your realistic list, then your dream list, and so on and so forth. All right, we got this, right? Right. Research just isn't, okay, who's the coach? For me, if I'm asking you questions, what do you know about our school? This is what I want to know. Who are the coaches? What's a little bit of their history? You don't have to have the whole history because sometimes that's ridiculous. Okay? What majors does this college have, and do they have your majors? The big one, and I know this is going to be the funniest one that you're going to laugh at. You ready? Where's the school located? Okay? Because of Ottawa University. All right. Good. For me, those were the 4 things I want researched. The 5th thing, we'll give it the thumb. Have the coaches' names memorized. Especially in schools that you want to go to. All right. Don't be afraid to email them. Email them a nice letter, letting them know your schedule if you have it. Or you send them a letter, let them know who you are, send them a little clip of what you have done or your recruitment video, a minute, maybe 2 minutes now. I always like just a minute because I could see just real quick and get through. You got to remember these coaches get hundreds of thousands of emails and you want to stand out. So you want to make it as succinct as possible for them to want to come see you. Okay? Understand this. Now, after you send this email, if you don't have your schedule already for your, Northeast, Southwest Louisiana, so on and so forth showcase, then you need to send them another email, okay, with your schedule, what field, all that. Now, this also helps, okay? I call it the demographics. Don't be afraid to send them your information. Coaches have these player sheets up there and so on and so forth. Why don't you have one that you are sending to these players as well, or to these coaches as well? Okay, do we got that? All right, good. Now we've done all that. We're getting ready to head to warm ups. Okay? There's one thing that I did not state yet, and this one is ginormous. Okay, and I was waiting for this point and this mark of this video to say it because I wanted to see who is paying attention. Okay, I'm going to actually do a short on this. Do you guys understand this? Okay, here it comes. Always, always, always act like there is a recruiter, a scout, a coach, an assistant, a bird dog, so on and so forth, looking for you to be their next star athlete. Always. And that goes, you ready? Practice, school. Because you never, ever know who's watching you. Do we get this? So if it starts in school, starts in practice, going to these showcases should be a no-brainer, no problem. Everything should be perfect. Do we all understand this? Okay? Do we all understand this? I'm just making sure you guys understand this because practice makes perfect, right? Well, how about practice for a perfect practice to make it perfect? Okay, now here we go. You've gotten to this point. You've practiced, you've made it better, you know somebody's watching you. Are you going to be a little nervous, especially if it's your first showcase? Pfft, absolutely. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's just the way it goes. I don't care if it's baseball, softball, basketball, football, underwater, basket weaving, so on and so forth. Do y'all got that? All right. Fantastic. Oh, by the way, we haven't got to warm-ups yet. Yeah. So here we go. Now, here we go. Anyway, I know I'm saying here we go a lot, but I'm making sure that you guys are understanding it and you're kind of getting it into your noggin how important it is to understand that knowing somebody's always watching you play, perform, do your best under adversity, under pressure, under whatever, or just you being you on that field and slightly off the field. They always want to make sure you are doing your best for their program. You got to understand, you are a huge investment. Now with all the NIL deals, spit that out. You're a multi-million-dollar investment, or could be a multi-million-dollar investment for these schools. So therefore, they're going to put a lot of time, effort. They're going to do what they can to throw you off to see how you react. Okay? Okay. So don't be surprised if you see somebody at your practice that made a special trip out there and they're standing in the background just watching. Because as a scout in my area, that was one thing I loved to do, was watch practice. Because that's when the true you comes out. So, part 2 of this is going to come out, and I'd like to thank Liquid Nitro Energy Drink, folks, as our sponsor of today's show. I would also like to thank Para Travelers as our sponsor of today's show. All right, we'll get back to you on the next episode. We're going to go into warm ups. Bye.